Why is it that so many of us as neurodivergents struggle to rest? Why is it even when we approach it intentionally, carving out time in our schedule just for this purpose, that we feel guilty, that our mind revs up in the background and starts spitting out all these criticisms about how we should be productive, how we should structure our free time, that we don't deserve to rest? This can be for a variety of reasons. It can be that we have conditional self-worth. Growing up neurodivergent in ableist societies, we start to believe that we're inherently defective. We get those messages from other people and from the general social milieu of what's being communicated in our environment. And we often feel like we have to punch above our weight, especially in these so-called meritocratic societies where our output is equal to our worth, where we are only measured by what we've managed to churn out, not in our long history, but right now. What are we doing right now to prove that we are contributing members of society? There's often these negative labels that are assigned to people who are disabled or neurodivergent, that we aren't productive members of society, that we're dead weight. And we might feel that we aren't inherently worthy unless we're disproving that, and not only rising to meet the bar, but we're exceeding it. We're proving people that we're more than the average contributor to society, that we're doing more than most people do. And so we punch above our weight, constantly trying to disprove this internalized sense of inferiority, that we are not worthy of love because we don't contribute as much. And here's the proof. Look at what we can do. If we stay productive and we stay in motion, look, I can do all of this. I'm good. Like, don't look at all the negative things about me. Look at the great things I've accomplished, right? And that leads to workaholism and perfectionism and overachievement. Another reason is that many of us experience dopaminergic dysfunction. Studies have found that ADHD brains and autistic brains also have this dysregulation of dopamine that leads to a lot of the behaviors that we're describing here. A need to constantly stay in motion, to be productive, to seek out stimulation, inspiration, novelty. And if you slow down, you're not getting your dopamine fix. And so that dysregulation creeps up and we start to feel uneasy and nervous, anxious, angsty even, because we start spiraling. We start having a bodily state response to that dopaminergic dysfunction because we've cut off the supply. We're not getting our dopamine drip feed, and then the body starts to panic, and then we start to panic, and then we start trying to create a narrative to rationalize that, which is, I'm not being productive enough, and I don't deserve rest. I haven't done enough today, and whatever it is, these shame scripts that we've internalized from ableism, we start reciting, and it makes it very hard for us to actually rest for that reason. We're not only experiencing the bodily unease as a result of this dysfunction, we're also developing a narrative about our right to rest as a result. And then the third reason is a lot of us have trauma. You grow up in a society that's ableist, you will be marginalized, you will be bullied, you'll be oppressed, you'll be excluded, ostracized, and even emotionally and physically harmed. That's a common universal experience for many neurodivergents and anybody who seems to occupy a marginalized status. If we don't live in the center of society, what's perceived to be the center, there's a good chance that we've had some of these experiences. And as a result of this trauma, we develop hyperactivated nervous systems. We're constantly hypervigilant, scanning our environment, scanning other people, scanning ourselves for dangers, for threats, for mistakes, making sure that we're always on our toes, always being observant, always primed for danger, and always primed to engage in one of the typical trauma responses like fight, flight, freeze, fawn. That's an adaptation when we're in danger, sure enough, but when we get locked in that state, it's a maladaptation and it doesn't serve us anymore. It keeps us trapped in this hyperactivated state, and relaxation becomes impossible, if not dangerous, to the traumatized mind. It perceives this state as being one of risk. If you rest, you're letting down your guard, and something could come out of left field and hit you unexpectedly, and some pain and suffering will ensue. And your brain will tell you this, and it will automatically prime you to stay activated and then push you back into motion because it's like, no, you shouldn't, you can't, it's not safe. Have you struggled with any of these reasons? And do you think they've impacted you in terms of your capacity to rest? Have you shamed and guilted yourself when you've rested? Has it been an uphill struggle to just try to take a nap in the afternoon when you're tired to get good sleep? Do you feel like you're constantly activated, that your dysfunction, dopaminergic dysfunction, is making it hard for you to rest? Do you have shame scripts about your worthiness, conditional self-worth that makes it really hard to relax? I would love to hear all about your experiences.